Hello and howdy everyone. Last night I watched The Amazing Spider-Man for the second time. I saw it in the theater in 3D. I gave that experience a 7. I see no reason to change my score. I think this is a solid 7. A little, I guess, disappointing, but you know, that's fine. Maybe more of its fanboy more than anything, just because Spider-Man was my second favorite comic book as a kid after Batman. So maybe just all of my problems, all of my issues are more geek-based than, you know, quality filmmaking-based. I definitely thought it was way too soon for a reboot of the Spider-Man films. I was not a fan of the third one. I think the first Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 can stand up with, you know, some of the great comic book films. I think Spider-Man 2 is one of the best comic book films, you know, period. I really, really liked Spider-Man 2. And I'm a big Sam Raimi fan. So, yes, I was like hurt by Spider-Man 3. You know, I hated that movie. Well, not hated, that's a strong word, but boy, that last hour, what an insult, you know, what an insult. It's like they just gave up. So I was never like happy that they were doing the reboot so quick. I just thought that we should, you know, have some time with the Raimi trilogy, but, you know, whatever. So this is a reboot. This is a different take on the origin story, so we're back at the beginning. I actually kind of like this take on it, you know, a little bit more. You know, just keeping him in high school and having him be awkward and having him deal with bullies and, you know, first loves and everything like that. I somewhat, you know, enjoy that. The first hour of this film, first 45 minutes, is kind of slow, even. I was maybe even, you know, a little borderline bored. But, you know, then it turns into, you know, a Spider-Man movie with, you know, special effects, and then it's basically just done there. It gives you a very slow first hour to build up all the characters and let you get to know everyone, the situation, and, you know, have Spider-Man come out. But once he's Spider-Man, then it kind of just turns into a special effects extravaganza. You know, I think characterization and storytelling kind of take a back seat. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. I just didn't enjoy it. You know, I didn't seem to have much fun. I really like the movie. I think the movie's good when it's not about Spider-Man. When it's about Peter Parker and him dealing with Gwen Stacy and dealing with Aunt May and dealing with, you know, life outside of, you know, being Spider-Man, I think it's much better. But when it's just Spider-Man, you know, I thought he had the attitude down right. I thought he was, you know, Spider-Man straight out of the comic book, but it just, it becomes more about what, you know, can they do with special effects? What can they do with the camera whipping around, zooming around? You know, what can they do to make it look cool? And I don't know. I just not too interested in it. It just seems like it's trying too hard in the, you know, in the fun parts. Again, when it slows down is about the relationship, is about that personal aspect. I really enjoyed it. I really kind of think it, you know, hit the nail on the head there. But the bad guy here, the Lizard, very underwritten. I didn't care for his, you know, character design. I didn't really understand his motivations. I can see that this is, the first of a trilogy, and, I think they'll definitely, over 3 films, get this story arc completed. I thought there was a lot of open-endedness to it, but I get that it's a trilogy. I never understood the motivations of the Lizard. I never really believed that, he wanted to hurt everyone. I just didn't think he was evil. I didn't think he was evil, and he was doing evil things. We never really get to see his plan put into action. I mean, we see it just briefly. It's like this huge apocalyptic event, and it's, mentioned barely. We see just the beginning effects and, the after effects. We don't get to see any, danger that anyone was put in. So there was just a lot of this film I just didn't care about. I just didn't care. I guess I could tell you who's in it. We've got Andrew Garfield. I think Andrew Garfield's a very talented actor. I think Emma Stone, who's also in this, is a very talented actor. I think that's what I enjoyed about it. Their chemistry is excellent. That's what I really enjoyed about the film, is when they slowed down, it was about them. They got to talk. I believed their romance. It felt very natural to me. Sally Field is Aunt May. She's very good. Martin Sheen is Uncle Ben. Dennis Leary's in it. Rhys Ifans is the Lizard. All the acting is fine. All the acting is good. Even Rhys Ifans, who never really gets to be, villainous, never gets to be fantastic, I guess is good. He's just way underused. The character is way underwritten. It's just not a good bad guy. It's just not a good bad guy, and your superhero movie is as good as the bad guy, in my opinion. And it just wasn't a good bad guy. Let's see here. Written by James Vanderbilt, Alvin Sargent, and Steve Kloves. Alvin Sargent sounds familiar, but I'm not sure from where. Directed by Mark Webb. I believe this is Mark Webb's second feature-length film. He made 50 Days of Summer, which I really enjoyed, and it's much better than this film. Again, I think I mentioned it in my first review. It's like he wanted to do everything he's never done, and wanted to play around in this new playground, and it just kind of results in an overload in terms of directing style. The camera is just always zooming around crazy. This is one of the films that killed 3D for me. I got a splitting headache while watching this film, and it's so funny to watch it in 2D and on a smaller screen, and so the action is more controlled. You can kind of understand what's happening more. In the theater, I had no idea what was going on. The camera was spinning around, my head was, gonna split apart. I was kind of angry. And here it's like, finally I can make heads or tails sense of the action, but it's just like, why is the camera just going nuts like that? It's just, I guess it really does do a good job at putting you there, make you feel like you're Spider-Man. There's several scenes of point of view shots where where the camera is Spider-Man and you see his arm and shooting the web, and that's really cool. But I don't know, the camera never stops moving. It's like got attention deficit disorder. It's just zooming all around all the time, and it, especially in the theater in 3D, made for a disorientating experience. I mean, I enjoyed the film. It looked good. The special effects were flawless. I have to give it a 7 just because of its technicalities. It looks really good. I believed it. I thoroughly enjoyed all the performances, even though some of them were kind of underwritten. I felt the relationship, which is very, what's important between Peter and Gwen, I thought was very real. That's what I liked about the film is that relationship and Peter's relationship with people. It's all the Spider-Man stuff that I have issues with. Spider-Man's relationship with, the world around him, and especially the bad guy. It's like the movie should be called The Amazing Peter Parker, instead of the So-So Spider-Man. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I guess I did enjoy it more than Spider-Man 3. At least the last hour of Spider-Man 3. I thought the first hour of Spider-Man 3 was solid and on equal ground with at least some of the stuff in the first two, but then it just fell apart. Here, I guess, I enjoy the tone. I like how the tone's different, and I will enjoy seeing what they do next. I think it's kind of an oversight where, I don't think I'm spoiling anything. We meet Electro, or I think they'll probably write it around where it's not Electro now, because Electro, the sequel is on the way, and Electro will be the bad guy. Electro is played by Jamie Foxx, and we meet Electro at the end of this film, and he's a white dude, so, I don't know. What are they going to do? Should we even, care that it's a white dude at the end of this film? I don't know what else to say about it. It's just, it was okay for me. It's right on the borderline. In a way, I kind of don't want to recommend it. I don't really see, just because Spider-Man 2 is out there. The first two Spider-Mans are out there, and if you want to watch a Spider-Man movie, watch those. You don't need to watch this. But I will be interested to see where they take this. And perhaps after seeing the second one, the third one, I will enjoy this one much more. But please calm that camera down. Don't make me vomit next time I go to the theater. So, okay, there you go. I'm worn out. That's The Amazing Spider-Man. I'll give it a 7. Thanks much.